one thing I wanted to ask you, the PWA, the Soul of PWA Championship, beautiful looking title that you guys have debuted. Now, that's safe to say that's replacing the PWWA Championship from now on, or is the PWA Championship going to come back in? What's the...
It directly did that. that was the whole, this is the belt instead of that now. So, because the whole thing is, right, like, so if there's not going to be a gender division, you can't have a title for a division that supposedly doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So you couldn't have a women's belt unless we were going to have a pure women's division. And a pure women's division where I think PWA has the most women and of any company in Australia. I don't think anywhere has quite as many amalgamated into one company. And it's still not enough. Like, realistically, how do you have a division of 5 people that people are going to really care about over a long period of time? And if you go elsewhere, how do you have a division of 2 people? What justification is there for a women's championship belt where there are 3 people in the division? It's just crazy. And especially, like, and how do you create a competitive division when largely, okay, we've only got 4 women? How do we, at best, we have 2 matches on a card, and after 3 shows, you've seen all the matches. How does that keep going in an exciting fashion over 5 years? Can't, you know. So, like, dropping the women's division, and then also, you know, someone like Jessica Troy, like, oh, why is Jessica Troy so good? Well, you know, she had a match with Robbie Eagles earlier this year. She main evented with Sam Osborne. You know, she did all this other stuff. She still wrestles Shazza McKenzie and Charlie Evans. She doesn't not get to wrestle the fantastic women's wrestlers, but she also gets a lot more experience. Yeah, that's how you get better, like the steel sharpens steel kind of thing like that. So there are so many advantages to dropping the gender division, but the other side of that is you could no longer have a women's belt. So what there are a couple things to it. Soul of PWA is a nod to the heart of Shimmer. And then the second thing, this has all come up with, because the whole thing was like the management kind of went, we don't want to like crap on the women's stuff because it was such a great legacy. If you actually look at all the people who held it, it was actually quite incredible, the lineage of that belt. But I think Madison Eagles, and you know, doing my best to speak for her here, I think she always wanted to eventually end up in a situation where there was no gender division. I think she's been working on that since 2007. So you know, that's that kind of thing. But yeah, you have to do it that way. So the girls designed the belt. All the women of the company came up with the name. That's their design. They came up with that. You know what I mean? Like, it's just one of those things where that's actually all kind of come from that group of people, that group of women. And it's so good. Like, it's such a cool looking belt. Everyone's commenting on how good the belt was.
It's amazing.
Pardon?
I said it's an amazing looking belt. Like, it looks absolutely.
Yeah, it was so positive. Like, yeah, so I think everything is there. There are eagles on the side, which is a note to Madison, you know, like, so there's like all that kind of stuff that goes into it. So, you know, I mean, that's just how, you know, we perceive it. And I think that the results speak for themselves. If you look at just, you know, how good the women wrestlers who come from PWA tend to be, you know, I think the attitude and the training and all the kind of stuff goes into it. That's what sort of gives birth to that level of skill.